So initially I was their biggest failure. Everyone has become so money minded, so capitalistic that they are like, no, if I don't make money my own.
These guys have made a lot of money.
90% of the people, I don't think they will be able to connect.
Yeah, so they will think.
If fame was a solution, why are the film stars and the singers, why do they commit suicide? Why have you forgotten that there is a God above all of us and He controls everything? That one verse, it changed my life. And the verse in Arabic is,
a lot of people are chasing money. A lot of people are finding instant gratification, because a lot of people ask me.
Running ads has been, somehow has been absolutely horrible for us. Anyone who is going to buy a house in the next 5 years is going to be browsing Instagram Reels, is going to be browsing TikTok Shorts. So if we can capture that.
Social media is today all about adding value to their end customers, and
in my right frame of mind, I would never put my money in India. If I had started the same business in any other country, in any other city around the world, the business would have closed down.
Hey everyone, welcome back to today's episode of Dare to Begin. Today we have a remarkable guest joining us. He is Farhan Safi, the founder and CEO of Revo Realty. It's an amazing real estate company based in Dubai. With over 7 years of experience, Faran has assisted more than 1,100 real estate investors in this particular region, helping them achieve their double-digit returns through strategic portfolio structuring. Not just that, he is someone completely driven by purpose. In the real estate market, it's very difficult to see someone building the business around purpose. His passion towards creating this kind of an impact is impeccable. Under his leadership, Revo Realty donates up to 1% of every property sale to charity, reflecting a deep commitment to social responsibility. Farhan's innovative approach has garnered attention from industry leaders like Gary Vee, who is well known for his digital marketing visions and input. He has praised Revo Realty's unique marketing strategies and purpose-driven mission. In Revo Realty, he has ensured all of his employees are becoming a personal brand, and thereby they are creating a business around it. He has also authored one of the best sellers in Amazon, which is on real estate investments. He has shared his extensive knowledge and insights with a very broader audience. Today, let's delve into Farhan's journey. Let's understand more about him and how he's actually building a business around impact. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Arjun. Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
So, this particular show, I have done a couple of episodes back in India. So, recently we started our operations in Dubai, and that's when I thought I'll discuss with entrepreneurs from here to understand more about how this space, and especially you are somebody from India, you have started things here, and I would love to explore more in the real estate space, content space, because your content is really amazing. That's how I've reached upon you, and your purpose driven approach towards this entire real estate. So why don't you introduce yourself, because most of my audience are South Indian focused, because I do content in Tamil also, but sometimes I do it in English because based on the guests that I invite.
Oh, very interesting. I feel like at this stage I should have an introduction ready for me, but I don't remember the last time I was asked for an introduction, so I don't have it ready. So I'm Farhan. I started Revo Realty in 2021. Before that, I did my MBA from IMT Ghaziabad, and I got into real estate in Square Yards. I was there for 6.5 years, and with the grace of, so initially I was their biggest failure, and then with the grace of God, I became their top performer. So at all levels, throughout the years, I was highest rated in all appraisal cycles, and I was their top performers. I was doing all of that, making a lot of money, had a good team, was traveling the world. In 2 years, 2019 and 2020, I traveled to 37 countries.
Amazing.
So I was living the life. You could tell people, oh my God, if you live this life, you're going to be really very happy. I was not. Okay. And then things happened in my life. I became religious. And that's when I realized I'm living my life in a wrong way. And I wanted to change things about it. And that is when I quit my previous company. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I have been successful. I have made money. I have people. I have traveled the world. I have done everything the media, the West tells me to do. The Bollywood tells me to do. The songs tells me to do. To be happy, I'm not happy. And because I got religious, I realized I'm not supposed to live my life for myself. It's not going to make me happy. It's going to leave a hole inside me. So I'm supposed to live it for others. So I wanted to start a charity organization. I have always been an introvert. So I'm very bad at asking.
Interesting.
And the idea was so new, so unique, and so absurd that I was like, no one is going to join me. And I did not have any money. I did not have any investor. I did not have any savings because I was spending all of my money that I was making in my previous job. I had to start alone. I did not have any other option. So I left my previous job, left all of it, started Revo Realty. And in the last almost 3.5 years, we have become one of the largest real estate brokerages in Dubai. And I don't want to introduce Revo Realty as one of the largest real estate brokerage. I want to introduce Revo Realty as the brokerage which is contributing the maximum amount of charity across all the real estate companies in Dubai.
This is really interesting because I've worked with a lot of clients and I know how competitive and really, sometimes political driven and it's high kind of, intense market and sometimes it's dirty also. So it's a very toughest space to be in, especially in a place like Dubai. So how did you get that purpose driven approach? So is it from day one or is it that's why you have started this entire thing, or like it is because you wanted to create a separate positioning because we are marketing people and all the brands want to position them in a certain way? Is it a marketing call or is it something driven from you?
I'll tell you something. For me, it's not about money because I have made money and I have realized that money is not going to make me happy.
Okay.
It's not about having fame. I have been famous. I mean, for me, my previous company was my entire world. If I'm famous in my previous company, it's like I'm famous in the entire world. So I have been famous because I was really successful. So money, fame was not making me happy. So for me, it was not a marketing or strategic kind of a positioning. For me, it is just something that I wanted to do. We are known today. For the first 2 years, we were not even profitable. We were making losses. I had to sell my car in scrap. I had to send my family to India. I was eating one time a day. There were times when I did not have money to pay rent for my office and for my home. I was given a vacancy notice for my home because my rents were delayed. So a lot of these things happened when we started this charity-oriented revenue model. And secondly, overall, we have donated more than 10% of companies' revenue. This is revenue, not profit. So a lot of times you see companies giving a part of their profit. We did not keep it as, we are going to be giving a part of our profit. We are giving a part of our revenue. And real estate is a very lean model. The reason is there are thousands of real estate brokerages in Dubai. And they do not have differentiating factors. Their only differentiating factor is, you're working in this company, you come to my company, I'll give you 10% more commission. Then the third company will say, so let's say in 2020, 100 real estate brokerages opened up. They all said, we are going to pay you 10% more. You come to our company. The standard brokerage distribution went from 50% to 60%.
Okay.
In 2021, 200 more brokerages opened up and they were like, we will give you 10% more. Okay. They offered 70. Mm-hmm. Then 100 more opened up, they offered 80. Okay. And they offered, but a lot of them are not giving, but they started offering. So this is an extremely lean model. In that lean model of real estate, giving 10% of your revenue towards charity is like shooting yourself in the foot. If we had a CFO, he would not have allowed it. If we had investor backing, they would not have allowed it. I feel like if I had business partners with whom I had started this business, money-minded, they would not have allowed it.
So you're a sole founder?
Yeah. I founded the company, but I felt like I haven't done a lot apart from founding the company.
Okay.
I have been very lucky with the kind of people I have attracted. And these people have built the businesses for us.
So all the team members are also driven with the same kind of vision that you have? Like, is it something they are also sharing with you, or how is it? Like, do you educate them to become like your similar thought process, or is it something they also want to do something apart from real estate? So are these guys trained real estate professionals, or like what kind of people do you attract?
Before I left my previous job, I had a team of 48 people. I did not bring anyone. I mean, generally, once you see the people, when they love their leader and the leader loves their team back and they're really connected, when the leader leaves, the team follows. For me, I knew I was going on a path which was completely undiscovered, had a lot of risks, so I could not take these people with me. Another reason was that I was going into a completely different model. In my previous job, I was money-minded. My people were money-minded. And now I was taking a completely different path, which was a selfless path. So I did not expect people to be like me because I had reawakening. I did not expect them to have reawakening. So I started from zero. The entire idea was, if I'm rebuilding something or if I'm building something from the ground up, I would be able to build it any way I want. So all the people that I hired, and I felt like I was blessed with the first 20-25 people that I had hired. I really had very long interviews with them. I told them that if you want to join me, please join me for my vision. Do not join me for money. Because a part of our revenue is going towards charity, a substantial part of our revenue is going towards charity, it is lesser money for me and lesser money for them.
Okay.
So my standard question in the interview is, do you want to join me for my vision? Do not join me for money. Because a part of our revenue is going towards charity, a substantial part of our revenue is going towards charity, it is lesser money for me and lesser money for them. Okay. So my standard question in the interview is, we as a company are going to give you least amount of commission as per the industry standard. Why would you join us? Because the industry standard is 50%. For us, what's happening is wherever our commission is 5% or more, 1% is going towards charity. If it is between 2.5 to 5%, 0.5% is going towards charity. So let's say in most of the cases, the commission is 5%. If 1% is going towards charity, you are left with 4%. 50-50 of that is 2%. So effectively, they're getting 40% slab.
Okay.
No one who is money-minded would join a company like Revo. Because for them, they'll be like, I'm losing out 10% on my every deal. So luckily for us, because of this lower commission structure, only the right-minded people joined us. And then this extensive interview process that we had for the first 25 people, only people who associated with this vision that, yeah, I'm a believer. I believe in God. I know if I will do the right thing, God will take care of me. And I believe in the power of blessing. And I know if I'm on this path, God is going to support me. So even if I'm making lesser money, I'm doing twice the amount of business. So eventually I'll end up making more money. So people who had this belief in God, and I feel like 95% or more than that, almost all of the people that we have in Revo who are associated with this vision are spiritually good, spiritually connected.
Okay.
So they have this belief that if I take care of the people, God is going to take care of me.
All right. But from where did you get this enlightenment? Is it someone preached you, or like how did you go through this kind of a thing? Because to have this kind of a clarity, not a lot of people at our age in this era like very spiritually driven, because probably in the later part of your career, after you have achieved a lot, made a lot of money, that's when you become like that, the monk mentality comes in. So how did you end up here? Like what is your story on this?
So my story on this is a longer story. In 2011, on 11th of November, so 11/11/11, it was the worst day of my life. I lost a brother. So on 10th of November, I took him to the hospital. He walked with me to Holy Family in Delhi. And I took him to emergency, and immediately everyone started rushing towards him. And I could not understand what's happening. And it was 2011 is 13, 14 years back. Even my age was not that good. So I could not understand what's happening. Immediately, they took him to the elevator. The elevator is closing. I'm still standing there because I could not understand what's happening. And then they told me they have taken my brother to ICU. And we walked to the hospital, and he had some kind of dengue where the platelets, they were not coming down. They had stopped working altogether. They stopped their function. And the next day he passed away. And from that time, that day used to be the saddest day in my family. Every year, 3rd November was the birthday of my brother. 11th November was the day he passed away. So this entire week, my mother will cry. Every year, my mother will cry so much. And the day he passed away, in Holy Family, in the evening, when one of my uncle came, my mother, the way she shouted and cried, the entire hospital went on a pin drop silent. The way she was crying, I can hear it in my ears. So these used to be the saddest days of my family. Now, 9 years later, I got married in 2020. I got married, and the day was proposed by my in-laws, not by us. They proposed the date 3rd of November. We did not focus much on the date, but I got married on 3rd of November 2019. In 2020, 11th of November, we were expecting twins.
Okay.
The delivery was expected to be in December. On 10th of November, I took my wife for a checkup. The gynec said, you have to do an emergency ultrasound, but since it's closed now, you can go to Discovery Gardens tomorrow morning and you can do the ultrasound. 11th of November 2020, we went to do the ultrasound. The doctor said we have to do the immediate surgery.
Okay.
Something similar was happening. I took my wife to the hospital. They said, oh, this is urgent. And then we immediately, they were like, okay, go to Esther Mankhul, pick up your bag and all, whatever you need from your home, and we'll do the surgery. So we went to the home, and my mother is asking my father, what is the day today? My father did not reply. My mother asked again, what is the day today? My father did not reply. My mother asked a third time. My father did not reply. So I replied, it's 11th of November. And then it suddenly occurred to me.
Okay.
It's the same day, and everything is happening the same manner. I did not pay much attention because I had to take my wife to the surgery. I took her to the surgery, and they immediately took her for the surgery, and something happened. 9 years back, I had this regret. I wanted to get up and pray and ask God to let my brother be fine. And I did not do it. And that was a big regret. And I was like, oh, I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I want to do this. And when I was thinking this, I heard azan in the hospital. I immediately went to pray. And when I prayed from God that just let my twins be fine, and I'm just going to start.
So it's a twin.
Yeah. Okay. Start practicing the religion. And I prayed and prayed and prayed. And when I came back, both of them, alhamdulillah, they were fine and they were delivered. And this time when I became religious, so earlier I was religious, I was practicing my religion,
okay,
but I did not understand what I was actually
Studying,
doing.
reading.
So, for example, the biggest problem with all of us Indians is, even Muslims or Hindus, is Muslims, we read Quran, we don't understand it.
Right.
Hindus, we have our Vedas in Sanskrit or our books in Sanskrit. Not a lot of us understand it.
Right.
So first thing that we need is we have to understand what we are actually reciting or
Right.
reading or what we are doing every single day. So this time I thought, let me do it differently. I want to understand what God has written for me in the Quran. So I started not only reading Quran, this time I started understanding it and reading it with translation. And I used to do it. And as I was doing it, I felt disconnected from my job. And that was, at that time, was the job I loved. That I want to be in a boiler room, I want to be in an environment where I'm driven and I want to be on my toes and I want to succeed and I want to work really very hard. And then there was this one verse, which was like, I felt like it was written for me. That one verse, it changed my life. And the verse in Arabic is, Al-hakumut takasur hatta zurtumul maqabir. The translation is, the competition for the worldly gain increases until the man reaches his grave.
Okay.
And I felt like I was doing just exactly the same thing. For me,
Running behind something.
yeah. So it is like, you have a dangling carrot and all of us have seen that, that video wherein a man has a dangling carrot, is running, and the man ends up in the grave.
Yeah.
And I realized I was doing just the same thing. I have been running towards one promotion to the next promotion, to the next promotion, to the next designation, to the next designation, to the next award, to the next award, to the next award. And if I would not have received that wake-up call, I would have been sitting in the very same company today and I would have been saying, oh, today I'm a principal partner. Let's say I'm an associate principal partner. I want to be a principal partner. And then I want to be a senior principal partner. And then after that, I would have wanted another designation, another designation. I would have kept on being a part of that race until the time I had died. And that is when I realized, oh my God, I can't do it anymore. And from then onwards, the more I read and understood Quran, the more I realized I'm not supposed to live my life in a capitalistic driven company versus I have to go towards an impact driven company, a value driven company. And this is where I decided that I can't do this anymore.
So the story is actually having a lot of emotions behind it, and I can understand like how you took this path. So when you mean charity, like how are you giving back to the society? Like what kind of, if I may ask, how is it going back to the society? Like what kind of charity you do in your organization?
Okay. So first, initially when we started, the idea was we are going to build homes for the refugees. So the initial idea was one home you buy from us, one home we will build for the refugee. But then the kind of money that we were receiving was 5,000, 6,000 initially. We were selling smaller ticket sizes. So 1% of property value is 5,000-6,000 dirhams. We did not want to keep the money with ourselves. My initial idea was, and at that time I was eating one time a day. My initial idea was if I can send this charity amount immediately to the charity, it will set an example for my future self. That if I can give all the charity amount when I'm hungry, I'm eating one time a day, I will be able to do it forever. So then in the first amount that we got 5,400 dirhams, we sent it to UNHCR for the refugees. The next 18,000 dirhams that we received, we gave it for this 1 billion meal campaign.
Okay.
And then we gave to some more organizations. But then we realized that when we are giving to organizations, there are admin costs involved. There are transaction charges involved. There are bank charges involved. And these charities, they also have their running costs.
Right.
So then we changed our approach. Then we were like, we will give it our own self. So now what we do is every time we are going to a country. So we have been to Jordan. We have even done last year in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. We have done in multiple cities in India. We have done in Pakistan. We have done in Afghanistan, Jordan, Lebanon. Next month, a team is going to Sri Lanka. So what we do is we identify charity organizations in these countries. And then let's say we have 4 or 5 charity organizations. The day we will land, we will meet all of them. And we will try to figure out which one of them is not money minded. And the way we do that is we will tell them clearly, see, we are not going to pay you any money. So there is no money involved. We only need your support in finding out the right people. Okay. You find out the right people for us, the needy people for us. You tell us what do they need. We will arrange it for them.
Okay.
So all the organizations that we have worked with, they find out these needy people. They tell us, okay, these are the needy people. We can do the distribution here. This is what they need. We ourselves, we find the suppliers. So we have found the suppliers in Jordan, in Lebanon, in India, Pakistan was easy. In Afghanistan, in all of these locations, we found the suppliers. We bought all of that stuff. With their help, we distributed it to the needy people.
So this is very interesting because a real estate company doing this as one of their core operations. So how, because it's very different from what a real estate company will do day in, day out. There will be sales calls, there will be other negotiations, legals and other stuff that's happening. So how your time is being spent on it, because this is something really new. That's why like I wanted to go a little deeper in it, because there are a lot of people, especially the youngsters these days. I talk to a lot of them in India, and I understand that all of them need something more than just money, right? At least people who have their self awareness, they want to do something in their life. With a lot of people having that clarity even in schools these days, like back in, let's say 10 years back, it was not there. Like people do engineering and then figure out what they want in life. So how are you able to do it, and how are you able to make others do it? That's more interesting part of it.
You have hit a chord that is hurting, because I've just realized. So as of now, we are just doing it. When the company was small, I was really emotionally involved in charity. Right now, it's just like, I'm involved, but emotional involvement is not that much in charity. So, but the way we do it is we make teams. So, for example, I have got leaders, and then they have got leaders. So, every time we are making teams, one of the leaders is going, and then they take some people with them, and then they go. Because we have 120 people, we can spare a few. But initially, when we were smaller, we used to love these charity trips, because all the top leaders and me, we would go. We have been to Jordan, Lebanon, and Afghanistan together. These three risky places we have been together, and we used to really feel good when we are helping people. Alhamdulillah, I feel with the blessing of God, I have attracted the best people in the. When I say best, I don't mean in terms of business. I mean in terms of, let's say, mindset, charity-driven mindset. In terms of being like-minded, I have the best people with me. So they are like, oh, we have this cause. Can we donate towards this? I was like, let us verify. We verify and then we donate, or we help. And then, for example, this happening in Sri Lanka. So a guy from Mumbai is going with a guy who's from Sri Lanka. So they have made a team and then they're going. When we did it in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, we had two teams. There were 2 Tamilians and 3 Mallus who did it. So this is how we do it. We have got multiple teams. We make these teams. They go, they figure out, and then they do everything.
Very interesting part of it. So we went deep into the purpose, and it's really inspirational, because being an entrepreneur, I used to think like, how am I going to do something for the society? Like I always think in a bigger picture, because I'm the first generation entrepreneur, and I have seen my father being very spiritually inclined and always tell me to do certain things. That time I don't really think about it, but when I see a bigger picture, there are not a lot of things that you can control. Like let's say there are a lot of intangibles in business that is not in your control. Like of course you can control the processes, you can probably the creativity and everything you can do, but there are so many things which is not in your control. Like for example, the way pandemic happened, or the way any kind of things that happen in the society which you cannot directly control, but there is some superpower above it. That's what I usually think. It's not focused on any specific religion, but spiritually there is something. There is some power which is not in your control, which is over you. So if you do good things come back to you and the people around you. 100%. That's something I also realized recently.
100%. In fact, you asked a question and you gave the answer yourself. I was going to give the same answer.
Okay.
That we have to understand something. We as humans, no matter how successful we become, we, in the bigger scheme of things, we are absolutely powerless. All of us combined, the entire population of Earth combined, is hardly a blip in the entire universe. We have to understand there is a much infinitely powerful power which is above all of us. So what we should do is, we should do everything in our power, in our business, and then we leave the uncontrollables to God.
Okay.
At Revo, we are fighting the status quo. The status quo is capitalism. You are supposed to drive the maximum profit. So an employer is supposed to drive the maximum profit out of its employee. An employer is supposed to drive maximum profits out of its employer. The client is supposed to drive maximum profits out of the company. The company is supposed to drive maximum profit out of its client. This is the capitalistic nature, which is the status quo today. That you have to take care of yourself. No one is going to come and take care of you. We are fighting that. The way we are fighting that is, we are going to do everything right. We are going to be selfless, and we will let God take care of us. It used to be like this. So a few years back, I don't know, in the last 10, 15 years, everyone has become so money-minded, so capitalistic, that they are like, no, if I don't make money my own self, or if I'm not selfish, I will die hungry. Why have you forgotten that there is a God above all of us, and He controls everything? If you're sitting with a client He controls the heart of the client. He can make the client switch his heart like this, and instead of not paying, he may pay.
Right.
Why do we forget that if we take care of God's people, God will take care of us? You tell me something. So let's say I am the president of United States of America. And let's say I have my 10-15 people in a small town, in a village, who are struggling. I have unlimited amount of money. You go and you help them. And when you are helping them, you are doing them from your own pocket. I have unlimited amount of money in my pocket. What would I do? Will I give you something in or not?
Yes.
I will take care of you in my own ways.
Yeah.
It may not be in terms of monetary, but I will take care of you. So why do we think that God will not take care of us if we take care of His people? So my belief has always been I am going to do my best. So it's called as tawakkul. You do your best, you leave the rest to God.
Okay, so this is a very interesting perspective, and I feel it has worked with a lot of people, and even before you or like in the society, a lot of people have driven by a purpose. But largely the society, irrespective of the industries that we are in, like I am also working with not just real estate, but across categories we work with in different markets. Usually it is the capitalism, or everybody is driven by money because everybody at the end of the day have to pay their employees or make profits or be answerable to the investors. Do you think everyone needs to think like this, or a bunch of people at least should start thinking like this so that the society gets it? Because largely probably a lot of people may not even able to connect to what we are currently speaking, because probably somebody watching this must be thinking these guys have made a lot of money.
90% of the people, I don't think they will be able to connect.
Yeah, so they will think that okay, these guys have made a lot of money. They have just discussing something. But I know, like I have seen people even when they are in their lowest of money, like still believing in that, and they have made better things in the life. So for an youngster, like let's say an youngster watching this, or somebody who is early into their career working for someone else, or somebody starting their own business, what should be their each one of us can have different kind of purpose. So what do you think they should be doing, like apart from having a strong business idea, plan and everything, in order to make it more sustainable for everyone around? What should be their thought process, like how they can think in this direction? Because at the beginning of our careers, we are all waiting to sustain. We want money so that we can pay ourselves, pay the team. So that's the major focus, right? Like when will I start thinking about, okay, let me give back so that it comes back to me naturally? So
I'll ask you a question. We know today's capitalistic system. Let's take an example of two people. One who is living in a village, and let's say he's driving a rickshaw when he's earning money. The other guy, he's going to school, he's going to college, then he's joining a company, a multinational company, and in that multinational company, he grows ranks, he becomes the CEO of that company, leads that company as a CEO till the time he dies, versus this guy. Who do you think is going to live longer?
Live longer?
Yeah, in today's society.
Live longer, probably the rickshaw guy, because he's fit enough. Probably he's, even if he has low money, like he's at least maybe, I mean, in a very, when I just think about the stress the CEO might go through, or the stress that he has, even if he will be happy if he just has food to eat every day and
My question is, if money was a solution to all the problems in the world, why are the ultra rich going to psychiatrists? Why are they seeking treatment for depression? If fame was a solution, why are the film stars and the singers, why do they commit suicide once they are really very successful? Why do they feel like, okay, now I'm successful, I have nothing more in my life to do? I feel like money, fame or career, none of these things are the actual solution in life, and human beings have not been designed in a way to chase these. These are the values which have come into picture in the last 20-25 years from West. That you chase these three things and you are going to be really happy in life. I don't think so. You interview majority of the people who are, let's say, completely, let's not talk about majority, I will talk about my own self. 4 years back, I feel like comparatively at the age of 26, 27 or 28, I was successful. I was making a lot of money. I was living the life I'm supposed to live. I was not happy. Hedonism is like, it's a vicious cycle which leaves you, and it's a black hole. Whatever you put, it does not give you that satisfaction. So I feel like the way the society is driven today is not leading us towards a net positive impact. It is leading us towards in a direction where the top 1% of the population, which controls everything, they make the maximum amount of money. But the people at the bottom, they suffer the most. So I feel like we need more companies who are ready to fight this status quo, that no, it is not about profit. I want to build my company which is spiritually connected. I want to leave a lot of things to God. I want to take care of people, and I want to let God take care of me.
Okay, so let me come back to the business side of things. Like you said, you have grown from a team of 4-5 people to now you have, I think, around 100 people.
130 people
130
just
people.
in Dubai alone. And then we have 40-50 agents in Canada.
So how were you able to do it? Because probably a lot of people might think this is not, and you have proven it also. The purpose that you have talked about, you have built a business around it, and 100 people in less than 3 years is not a joke. And I know myself, like how it is difficult to manage a team and build it. So like, what do you think about it?
So I'll tell you something. I feel like being a good leader today is very easy. This is the easiest of the times, in my opinion, to be a good leader. You will ask me why. We have this saying in Hindi, Andho mein Kana Raja. I don't know how to translate it into English. So it's like, you have all the blind people, and then you have a one-eyed man, and he's the king.
Okay.
Today, the kind of status quo that we have and the kind of leadership we have, we are, by default, we are producing a lot of bad leaders. So in today's time, if you are just a good human, you will be a good leader by default. What do I mean by good human? You respect people, you keep your words with them, you keep your commitments, and you respect them. And then they are not going to leave you. This is the basic tenets of humanity that you need today, and you will be a good leader. I feel like this is what we have done exceptionally well at Revo. First, we respect. There are no designations. So even with a 130 people team, we have no designations. So everyone in a way is kind of the same.
Okay.
So when my leaders are leading, or when I'm leading, I'm not leading because of the CEO of the company. There is no title such as the CEO of Revo. There is no title as a vice president or this or that of Revo. When people are leading, they are leading because of their skill set. They are leading because they connect with the team, not because, I have authority from the company because I'm this in the company. None of them is leading by that. So first, we give respect to them. Second, we honor all our commitments. So every time I tell this to my team, and even if I'm sitting with my clients, I tell them, every time I'm saying something, if you want me to write it down for you, sign it and stamp it, I'm ready to do it. Okay. So at any point in time, anyone who is having a discussion with me can tell me, Farhan, you said this. Can you write it down on a piece of paper? I will do it. Always. So we honor our commitments. These are the two things that we have done right, and with that, we have been able to build a really, really good culture. And I'll tell you another thing which has played a huge part in our success. We don't have money-minded people. These people.
What do you mean by money-minded people? Like, people who work for you just for money.
So I'm not saying this is right or wrong.
Okay.
I'm not saying money-minded people are wrong. I'm just saying there are money-minded people, and it is fine. You could be money-minded. You are just someone who I would not prefer to work with. So money-minded people, all they care about is money. For them, everything is money. As long as any relationship is profitable to them, they will be in that relationship.
Okay, when you say money-minded, like just to give a connotation to the users, can I say, like, let's say if your competitor is paying certain money more than what you're paying right now, they will definitely shift. Are they money-minded people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So someone whose top priority is money.
Top priority is
So everyone in a way is money-minded.
Okay.
Even I am somewhere is money. I'm money-minded. Okay. I'm talking about the people whose top priority in life is money, then impact, then relationships, then keeping their own words, a lot of these things. So because we have these people who are not money-minded and who believe in making this world a better place, they want to make the world a better place for their colleagues as well. And, a lot of the companies around the world, they are driven by bamboo. I mean, it's all about desperation. We do not drive by using desperation as a mean. We drive people by motivation. We drive people by love. So, for example, me and my leaders, we are exceptionally well connected. Our families are exceptionally well connected. Every 3 years, we are traveling together. We are living together. So we are really close and we are really connected. So, and they're doing the same thing with their teams. So they are driving their teams with heart and with love. It's not like, we don't go hard on them. There are times we go hard on them. But when we are going hard on them, they know we are doing it for them because we want them to become better. So because of this, we have a culture where everyone loves and supports everyone else. Every time we have new people joining in, they are shocked. They're like, how is everyone so helpful in an industry like this? We recently hired we don't do a lot of senior position hirings. We recently hired a senior position hiring, and that guy was shocked. He's like, I have never seen leaders in a company who back each other. I've always seen leaders in a company who would In front of each other, they will back each other. In front of and behind the back, they will backbite. He was like, I'm shocked. How is this happening? I was like, you be a part of this culture and you will be shocked to know how connected we are. So because we do not have money-minded, money-driven people, somehow we have built a culture where everyone loves and supports each other. There is one more thing that we do, and which I feel is also two more things actually, which I feel have helped us a lot in building a good culture. One thing that we do is 10% of company's revenue is divided amongst all our employees as dividend.
Okay.
Which is again revenue, not profit.
Okay.
Now what is happening is, let's say both of us are working. You will pick up a transaction, I'll feel happy because I'll get some part of it. When I pick up a transaction, you will feel happy because you will get some part of it. So earlier you were doing it for everyone. Now we have limited it for, let's say, half of the company. Mm-hmm. But this kinds of create that love for each other. In my previous job, people used to feel, oh my God, this guy picked up a transaction. They used to feel jealous and get these negative feelings. We have converted those negative feelings into positive feelings with the dividend.
So everyone is working for each other's success.
Yes. And they all clap for each other.
Okay.
Third thing that we did was, because of our model of our lower commission structure and us being completely different and being absolutely ridiculous in the model that we came up with, we could not attract experienced real estate agents. So what we did was, we hired freshers. Even today, 96 or 97% of our team is completely real estate freshers. We hired people who did not know anything about real estate. We trained them, we built their brands, and we made them the leaders in real estate today. Okay. And because of this, now how has this been a secret sauce? First, these people are like, oh, this company has built me. If I had hired a performing real estate agent, he or she would be like, yeah, I have already built this company, did not do anything for me. We hired freshers, we build them into brands for today. And we do not expect anything from them. We are like, yeah, we are just building brands out of you. And we know if we build enough brands, enough real estate agents, we will automatically be successful. So people are like, the company is giving me so much, let me be loyal to the company. So this is the reason we have one of the lowest attrition in the industry. Our people don't leave and we stay together and we eat together.
Interesting. So the way I visited your profile and checked about you because of your content, and I saw a couple of videos where like you were talking about this kind of things to your team and talking about the value system. From a marketing perspective, I want to know, because now let me come to the marketing part. How were you able to do it like this? Today, real estate is all about the people on front of the camera. Earlier, Facebook ads, Google ads were like dominating and it was the performance driven. But right now, people are looking at somebody else, like the real estate person who is actually creating videos and then they are trusting on it. How is the content helping you? How can somebody, like, let's say, stepping into real estate in any market, how videos have helped you? Like, can you tell a bit about your experience in running ads and like creating good content?
Running ads has been, I don't know, somehow has been absolutely horrible for us. Last month alone, we spent 78,000 dirhams in marketing. We did not close anything from that. So paid ads somehow has never worked for us. Organic, when we started making organic videos, and at a lot of the times the solution, because of this path that we chose, have automatically come to us. So this content solution is not mine. I did not come up with this innovative idea. I was kind of depressed. Nothing was happening and I could not see a way forward. One of my friends came down, met me, and he suggested me, why don't you start making TikTok videos? I was like, are you crazy? Why will I make TikTok videos? And he was like, you see this, there is a guy in my gym. He has 3 million followers. All he does is he uploads his gym videos. And I was like, oh, this looks powerful. Let me start making TikTok videos. I started making TikTok videos. And initially, I told my team as well, but they did not believe in it. So I was like, okay, let me do it. And then the team will automatically believe in it. I made TikTok videos for 3-4 months. We started getting closure from it. Then they got the belief. And then we started making TikTok videos for them. It all started with TikTok, then moved to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, and other platforms. One thing that we did differently was, up until that time, only a handful of the people were making videos. And these were majorly company CEOs of the companies. What we did was, we became the first mass producer of the content. We started everyone in the company was supposed to make their own videos, and instead of uploading it on the company profile,
individual profile.
Yes.
Personal
so profile. We built individual brands. Now at the time, I knew I was taking a big risk. What if I build the individual brand of, let's say, Harjeet or Danish or Sahil or any of my old people? What if they leave? It happened with one of my leaders. He has office in the same building, Hamad. We built his brand and he left. So at the time I was taking a very big risk that we are building all of these brands of the people. What if they leave? And I was like, I'm fine with it. Because I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it for people. I'm doing it for impact. So even if, so for example, Hamad, if tomorrow he's leaving to start his own company, if he's having a positive impact in the world, I'm fine. Because I'm driven towards impact. I'm not driven towards my own benefit. this strategy worked really well for us. We built all of these individual brands, and then I even got calls from other owners. Why are you doing this? Tomorrow, if this person leaves, start his own. Why you will lose a good guy? You will lose all of his followers. You will lose all of his leads. And my people, they are getting 50% commission on the company. They have received calls 60, 70, 80, 90. Harry once even got a call that we will give you 100% of the commission in every single deal. We just want your name to be associated with our company. Because Harry, at one point in time, he was the biggest celebrity in Dubai real estate.
Okay.
So even when I'm introducing Revo, let's say someone asks me, oh, which company do you work for? I would tell them, yeah, I work for Revo. And they're like, what is Revo? And I will tell them, have you seen the property wale Sardarji's video? And they, yeah, we have seen, yeah, that company only. Okay. So even I used to introduce Revo as Harjeet's videos company.
Very interesting.
So all of these people, they got multiple calls from multiple companies, but because they joined Revo not for money, but for purpose, for vision, they stayed around with us. And we became successful because we started mass producing contents and we started building brands out of people. Revo itself on its own became a brand because we build brands.
It's very interesting because I also see this as a very interesting business model right now, and it has worked phenomenally in real estate. What I am just imagining, what if all kind of brands, and I am quite sure social media is today all about adding value to their end customers, and I'm quite sure all the large brands are also going to probably adapt this to some level because it is going to be content driven. It's all about distribution because in this era of AI, you can create anything, like let's say you can visualize anything, but at the end of the day, how are you distributing it to your vast audience and the people who trust you? And the people who probably the followers that they have are not going to buy it today, but probably after a couple of weeks or month. So in terms of real estate, like the content, the way it has worked. So how do you see the market in Dubai and in India? I know Dubai cannot be directly compared because Dubai is one city and like the entire country in India. And I know like you have operations and like expanding now. How are you comparing Indian real estate market and Dubai real estate market?
So first I'll answer the content question. For me, the biggest marketplace in the world is not Amazon, is not Flipkart and all of these platforms. For me, the biggest marketplace in the world are Instagram and TikTok and Facebook Reels and YouTube Shorts. The actual audience who's going to buy real estate has not even arrived on this platform, has just started coming on these platforms. Anyone who is going to buy a house in the next 5 years is going to be browsing Instagram Reels, is going to be browsing TikTok Shorts. So if we can capture that, we are going to be further ahead of our competition. Second, comparing Indian real estate with Dubai real estate, I feel like as an investor in my right frame of mind, I would never put my money in India. The reason is, so although there is good capital appreciation in India, but you have to look at certain things. First, every time you're buying a property in India, you're paying taxes. Every time you're selling that property in India, you're paying taxes. Let's say you have paid tax when buying, you have paid tax when selling. When you get that money in your account and you want to use it, you again pay taxes when you're buying something else. When you put that property on rent, you're paying TDS on rent. And all of that is still fine. Let's say I have moved my money from dirhams to India. And after 10 years, I have sold that property. Now I want to bring back the same money in dirhams. I would only be able to get half the amount of dirhams because the rupee has depreciated. So rupee has depreciated 65%, more than 65% in the last 10 years. So let's say if I had sent 1 million dirhams back to India and I wanted to bring the same amount back, I would get 500,000 dirhams. So first, I'm paying taxes. Second, the appreciation is good. It's not that much. Third, the rentals are absolutely horrible. You get 2 to 3% rental yield, and that is the best case scenario in India. So while in Dubai, the properties are appreciating, the rental yield is 7 to 12%, you don't pay any taxes, the currency is appreciating, the economy is growing, the infrastructure is booming. Please tell me, what do you get when you buy a 3 or 4 crore apartment in Mumbai or Gurgaon or Delhi? What kind of roads do you get? What kind of infrastructure do you get? What kind of amenities do you get? Versus when you put in the same 1 million dirhams in Dubai, what do you get? You get the best infrastructure in the world. You get safety and security. You get to be a part of the economy which is growing. The best amenities that you could ask for.
Interesting. So, but in terms of the kind of people also moving in, because one of the reasons like why we wanted to have some operations based out of Dubai, because we were working for certain clients from Dubai back in India also, but we felt the necessity to come here because we felt this could be a place where we can attract probably clients and partners across the world, because I strongly believe in diversity. In India, like I have my teammates, like we are around 40 people, but there are around 15 different state people sitting in one office, and I can see how the diversity has actually helped in serving our clients. So now from the global perspective, I don't think so is there if there is any other city better than Dubai to have to attract that kind of different kind of talents across the globe to serve the clients. So because even for the global aspirations, I feel this city is great. So since you have built a business here, what would you want to tell for someone who is probably looking at starting a business here in Dubai or like having this kind of global aspirations?
If I had started the same business in any other country, in any other city around the world, the business would have closed down. First, because starting the business would not have been so easy. Second, sustaining the business would not have been so easy with taxes. Third, attracting the right talent, hiring the right people would have been difficult because the word is not coming here. Fourth, the kind of clients that you get here, because the world is moving to Dubai, the population is growing, we would not have gotten those kinds of clients. So if I had started this business somewhere else, we would have already shut our shop down and I may be back in the same company I was. So for example, let's say you spent 1 million dirhams to set up a business in India versus you spend 1 million dirhams and set up your business in other major cities around the world, whether it's in India or US or anywhere else. First, if you look at the ROI perspective, Dubai is the center of the world today. Okay. So you can cater to more people from Dubai than you can cater to all the major cities across the world. Second, so you get more clients. Second, you don't pay any taxes on your businesses. It's only 9% corporate tax, even when you are making more than 375,000 dirhams in profit in a year. So you hardly pay any taxes. Third, even let's say you are making a lot of money, even after paying all the taxes, you have a lot of profit. What will you do with that money? If you are in India, especially from where I come from, you have an expensive watch, you are not supposed to wear it. You get an expensive car, you are not supposed to tell people about it. You are making a lot of money, you are supposed to keep it hidden. Because if you are making a lot of money and it is well known, you may get targeted. So what will you do with all of that money if you can't use it? Which happens in our country. Right. In Dubai, because of safety and security, you are like, okay, you are making a lot of money, but even if you are making less, I would prefer Dubai because I know my family is safe and secure. I am safe and secure. My kids, so for example, my family is living in Canada. And they come to Dubai as well, they have lived in Dubai as well. If my kids disappear out of my sight, even for 30 minutes in Dubai, I would not be worried that much because they are in Dubai. In Canada, there was a time where they disappeared out of my sight for 5 minutes. And the first thing I did was I ran to the parking of that park and I was like, let me see which car is going out. Let me record the numbers of all the cars which are moving out. The first thought process was someone maybe kidnapped my kids. And I'm talking about Canada. In India, the situation would have been much worse. So what will I do with all of that money if my family is not safe and secure? They feel safe and secure in Dubai.
So as entrepreneurs, like let's say irrespective of where we are building the business, just in case, because I know a lot of youngsters from India watch it, and definitely India is going to be a much better place because a lot of entrepreneurs are building things around.
Even I myself will be building, because India, one thing that India offers is the population of 1.8 billion, which no other country is offering. So the exposure is huge. The opportunities are massive. It is just that if government, when they are taking so much of taxes from us, if they could give us something in return, probably better infrastructure, better healthcare, better schooling. If they could just go away from their agenda of, let's say, dividing the country to uniting the country and figuring out how we can give the maximum value back to the people, it would be the best country in the world.
So in terms of entrepreneurs watching this, so what should be their goal? Like let's say I'm starting a business today. I want to build a great business which actually creates impact in the society. Forget about the profits and other aspects, valuation, because I feel in this chat we spoke more about value systems more than valuation. So let's go in that direction only. So what kind of values they should carry, the founders should carry, so that they can create businesses which is creating that kind of a positive impact in any society, like, or anywhere they are building the business. What do you think, like, based on your experience?
First, in my opinion, you have to be a good human. That is the most important tenet if you want to be a good businessman. Second, you should be a good executioner. Ideas are useless. No one has been successful because of ideas. There were people who, let's say, we all remember Thomas Alva Edison as someone who invented light bulb. He did not invent light bulb. He commercialized light bulb. He was not someone with a great idea. He was someone who could execute a lot. So ideas are useless unless you can execute on them. So you should be someone who could execute things very, very fast. Third, you need to have resilience. If you're starting business, you are not going to be successful. Whatever you have thought before starting the business, I am telling you, the moment your plan meets the reality, it's going to shatter in a thousand pieces. So you should be someone who could go through that. People say it, ishq aag ka darya hai aur tair ke jana. I say the same thing for business. That it's a lake of fire and you have to swim in it. So until unless you are resilient, you will not be able to run a successful business unless you have an investor. Third, please do not chase money. Even if you are successful, you will not be happy. Chase impact, chase value, because in my opinion, it works like light and shadow. Shadow is money if you are focused on it, and if you are running away from the impact, the shadow will keep on running away from you. You come closer to the light source, which is impact and value addition, the money will automatically come to you. I feel really happy about it. This is something that really makes me happy, and I'm thankful to God that we have today become an example. That you are someone who is not running after money, and the money is automatically coming to us. Today we are making so much of money. People in Revo are making so much of money. Last year alone, the individual commissions, I'm not talking about overall commissions, individual commissions are more than 15 million dirhams. Overall commissions were around more than 20 million dirhams. So we are making good amount of money because we never focused on money. We focused on impact. Money came on its own.
I think definitely you have set that example, and I'm quite looking forward to see this reflecting in other business. And I've taken away certain points I'll try to implement in my business as well. So this podcast was all about people who dared to begin in the career, and your story about like your spiritual journey was very inspiring, and you have that strong purpose. Probably my takeaway from this conversation would be to chase purpose more than chasing profits or revenue. I feel this because when I started, I wanted to start out of my passion. So I was inclined towards creativity, and that's when I left my engineering job, and then I wanted to do something that I really like. So I strongly believe in do what you love and love what you do. And I think that's where I started my business. But now when I'm also scaling up, like I have a lot of things to take away from this particular conversation. I'm really grateful for this time spent. So would you like to add like any particular thing? Like we will conclude this conversation for anyone like watching this who wants to make a great, let's say, because a lot of people are chasing money, a lot of people are finding instant gratification. Because a lot of people ask me, even I started creating content, a couple of videos went really viral, and people started asking me like, I want to start a business, I want to make money. So I couldn't answer them. I said like, see, I posted a video that says like you can start your own business and create impact. Then people started asking me, what business should I start? Like I don't like 9-to-5 job, so I want to start business. So everybody wants that success. Like people don't want to work 9-to-5. I tell people like, if you don't want to work 9-to-5, you have to work 24 hours when you're starting a business. So that's something people don't get. As a successful entrepreneur, like who has built this in the last couple of years, tell like your view on anybody. Like it is because I have equal respect for somebody working in an organization and building it. In fact, more respect to them and to the entrepreneurs. So what do you want to add to this particular society?
I'll tell you something. Something where a lot of youngsters go wrong is they look at the people in the limelight. So for example, if you're watching this today is because today, alhamdulillah, we are successful. You don't have to look at my journey today when I'm successful, and you don't have to look at what I'm doing. You have to look at the first 2 years of my entrepreneurial journey on how hard they were. And I'm telling you, there were times I would wake up in the night and I would cry. And since I was alone, I would cry loudly because I could not see a way out. Next day, I would get back up again, go to work, show up, and I did that for day after day after day after day after day. So do not just look at someone who is famous today or who you are watching today and think, oh my God, I'm just like this person. No, this is the limelight that you are seeing. So this is like the Usain Bolt movement. That those 10 seconds when Usain Bolt is running, don't focus on that. Focus on years and years of practice that Usain Bolt has done behind the scene. So go behind the scene and see all of that stuff and do that.
Amazing. So it was a very gripping conversation. I wanted to drive it towards marketing and more of a content, but it was more towards the purpose and the spirituality.
I'm more of an emotional guy. And
I think this has much more impact for the viewers. So I'm quite sure they would have taken out some good points from here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for calling me.
Let's hope a lot of people move focus towards the purpose.
The purpose. Thank you so much, Arjun. You have been a lovely host.
So that's Farhan for you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you're watching this conversation till now, till the end, I'm quite sure you are going to create a strong purpose in whatever you're doing, irrespective of whether it is your job or building your own company. Always chase purpose, and I think that should be the single takeaway of this Dare to Begin episode. Cheers.